What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. This is my War Room, and welcome to episode 201. We took the week off last week, which is not something we do very often. So if you're just joining us for the first time because you got this alert that I'm live on my Facebook page, welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. Allow me to introduce you to everyone in the comments. This is the War Room family, people we've been getting together with since March 14th of 2020, and we've done it now 201 times. It all started back on March 14th. We got together 80 nights in a row during the height of the pandemic. And then when we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast, we turned Cocktails in the War Room into a weekly show where we get together literally in my war room, which is the place in my house where I keep all of my military memorabilia, all of my family's military history, and it's also where the bar is. So if this is your first time in the war room, welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, and to the family, I'm sorry we weren't together last week. I have tons of stories for you, and cheers. First of all, I got a brand new mug in the last 2 weeks. Check this out. My friend Kimberly from A Salty Soul made this for me. It's a tumbler that is amazing. And believe it or not, this is a real spider web. She lives down south, and when she finds big, giant spider webs, she makes these tumblers out of them. And she made this one especially for me, which I absolutely love. So a new cup to the collection. Cheers to you guys. Welcome back to the War Room. Penny is here. Elsa. Auntie Ange is joining us. What's up, Auntie Ange? Donna's here. Christine is here. Lisa. Mark is here. Also Jen, Tracy, Jonathan, Shannon. Hold on. Also, if you're new to the War Room, you may hear the begging. Allow me to introduce you to my co-host. Back up so everyone can see your beautiful face. Down. This is Wednesday. She has been my co-host for pretty much every episode of Cocktails in the War Room. And she is now so spoiled because she knows that if she sits in here, say hi to everybody in the camera. Get down. Give me your paw. She starts coming into the War Room and sitting on the green couch at about 7:30. So she knows that she gets cookies, and then she usually leaves, and then she usually comes back towards the end of the show when we open up the mail call mail, because she's the most spoiled dog on the planet, and she gets a lot of mail from you guys. So I'm not bribing her to be in here, but I'm kind of bribing her to be in here. Let's see. Carol is here. Ash says Shinedown and Jelly Roll was amazing. I've got pictures and stories to tell you about that. Mark says Jelly Roll was effing awesome. First time seeing him. Don't rush ahead of the show because I got a lot of stories and some pictures I want to show you guys. Let's see. Michelle says howdy. If it's Elsa's birthday, we will cheers to Elsa coming up when we do birthdays in a little while. Let's see. Thanks to the family for all the birthday wishes early, says Elsa. So Wednesday joins us here in the War Room. And after episode 200, when we had the long-awaited pajama party with Danielle Murr, we took last week off because I had a house full of company. My husband was also here. For anybody that's new to the War Room, my husband's active duty military, so we don't live together. And so he was here. We had a bunch of friends here, and we went to see Shinedown and Jelly Roll in a big group. And we also did a bunch of sightseeing. We went to the North End for dinner one night. We walked around Salem one day. Down. Good girl. And so I thought, you know what? Things have been so crazy life-wise that I wanted to take the week off. And I'm really glad that I did. Although I got to be honest, we were backstage at Shinedown and Jelly Roll, and I looked at the clock, and I was like, oh my God, it's 8:30. I should be in the War Room right now. And it was really weird having that break from the show, because it's something that we have been doing for so long that to take a week off was very, very strange. So Eric tipped me off to something which I did not know about. Eric tipped me off that when I make mention of a certain four-legged mammal that joins me in the War Room every week on the couch, that you guys turn that into a drinking game. Now, is Eric the only one that is taking part in this drinking game, or is this something you guys have been doing without my knowledge like this whole time? Because I had no idea that you guys had a War Room drinking game and that it involved the Nugget. And now I'm just going to keep bringing her up because I know that you guys have to drink every time I bring her up. So Will says, you missed all of us. Let's see. We missed you, says Penny. Let's see. She has a camera on the dog. Drink up, everyone. Is this a thing, or is just one or two people? It's any excuse to get hammered, says Mark. Okay. So it's not really a game. She's the co-host of the show. It's just, you might as well just get a funnel and get drunk within the first 10 minutes of the War Room every week, because you know that's when she's going to be in here clawing at me for cookies. Okay. We do now, says Brian. Yeah, so you guys are going to have to get together in the comments and talk about the drinking game that involves Wednesday the Goth Pug. I had no idea it was a thing, but it is. All right, so we got a lot to talk about on the show tonight. I got a ton of pictures I want to talk to you guys about. So the first thing is we got to do the cocktail. Now, I thought this week that I would bring in a different book. What? Changes. So I have a bunch of bartending books here in the War Room, things that people have given me over the holidays, things I've gotten in Yankee swaps, just things I've picked up along the way. And hey, you can't go back there. No, there's no more in my pocket. They're gone. And so I wanted to sift through a different book, and this one doesn't have quite as many, but these are considered classic cocktails. This is Cocktail Classics by David Biggs. So this one says, this is a good summer cooler. And I realize that the weather is getting cooler here in New England, but I thought this sounded pretty good, and it's a way to incorporate maybe some bottles of white wine that you get gifted. I don't drink white wine on its own very often because it makes me white girl wasted. I can drink tequila and get less drunk than I do when I drink white wine. It's really weird. I don't know why that is. So I have white wine in the house, but it's usually for guests. But I thought the Waltzing Matilda would be a good use, not only the white wine, but the first ingredient is the goat of all ice, crushed ice. So the Waltzing Matilda is crushed ice, 4 parts dry white wine, 1 part gin, 1 part passion fruit juice, a half a teaspoon of curacao, and then soda water or ginger ale according to your taste, and an orange peel. Now the instructions are to place a generous scoop of crushed ice in a cocktail shaker, add the white wine, the gin, the passion fruit juice. It says you can also use passion fruit cordial if the real thing is available near you, and the curacao. Shake briskly. Then strain the contents into a highball glass. Top it up with the sparkling mixer of your choice and garnish with the twist of orange peel. Now, you guys know that I am not a big gin lover. I like to put it up on the screen in case you guys want to remember what it is. You can freeze the screen later. And the white wine will probably make me white girl wasted, but I thought it was a good way to utilize some white wine that as the holidays start getting close, you might start getting gifted bottles of wine and you don't know really what to do with them, especially if you have a bottle of dry white wine and you're like, what are we? Yeah, we know that's Carrie's kryptonite. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why it is that white wine is like that, but it just is. So that one is called the Waltzing Matilda. For anybody that's new to the War Room, we like to talk about drink recipes, and we also like to talk about drink garnishes. And I think with something that's like dry white wine like that, that's garnished with like an orange wedge, that I think there's a few different things that you could do depending on, you know, if it's a summer cocktail. I thought maybe you could use like an orange sherbet or something and put a little bit of that in there. But we like to discuss custom garnishes. Because sometimes that's the best part of the drink is, a Bloody Mary. What's a Bloody Mary without the garnish? Tomato juice, cold with some horseradish. Then I thought about, those candied orange gummy candies, the sugar-coated ones. I thought that might be kind of cool if you put one of those on the rim. But if you guys have other suggestions, switch it with vodka. Lynn says, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. Jen says, that is heartburn. I would stop by AutoZone tomorrow and get a funnel, says Eric. Carrie and Warren, folks, checking in real quick. Literally been bedridden sick for the past couple of days. Richard Fitz, thank you for checking in, and we hope you're feeling better. Tracy says tequila is misdemeanor land. Yeah, for me, tequila is definitely misdemeanor, but white wine and gin, I'm pretty sure that's like a felony waiting to happen. So let's see. All right. It seems like all of you guys want to talk about the Shinedown Jelly Roll show. Before we get there, I want to remind you guys that I am headed to Vegas next week, shortly after the War Room, actually. And so if you have a backstage pass, I'm going to take you with me. And also, I'm going to be out there for a few days, checking out a bunch of new bands, and then kicking off my birthday weekend in Vegas with the guys from Godsmack. So I'm going to have a lot of stories. I will be here next week in the War Room for episode 202, but then the rest of the week, I'll be in Vegas and back before episode 203. So we're not going to have to take the show on deployment, but I am definitely taking off to celebrate my birthday next week. And so there's going to be a lot of shenanigans and stories. All right, speaking of shenanigans and stories, we got a lot to talk about when it comes to Jelly Roll and Shinedown. So I want to fill you guys in and show you some of the pictures. So you guys may or may not remember the story. After we had Jelly Roll on the podcast in episode 90, I had a chance to go and see Jelly Roll at the Palladium. He could not have been more gracious to my husband and the kids. The Palladium was jam-packed. The show was amazing. And one of the stories that we talked about here in the War Room after the fact was that Bunny arrived straight from Logan Airport with all of Jelly Roll's jewelry, which is like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of diamonds and jewelry. He came up in the hip hop world, and so he's got a lot of bling. He came up in the country world and the rock world kind of all simultaneously. But one of the rituals he has before the show is that he puts all of his jewelry on. Bunny, out of her carry-on bag, pulled out this giant Ziploc freezer bag that literally had all of Jelly Roll's jewelry in it. Like I said, hundreds of thousands of dollars in diamonds. Just the watch alone, I think, was like 75 grand. It was just crazy. And me and my husband and the kids were like, is he really pulling all of that diamond jewelry out of a Ziploc bag? And he even like copped to it and laughed about it. And he was like, is this not the most redneck ghetto shit you've ever seen? He was so gracious and wonderful to the kids and my husband that my husband and I, when we talked about going to see this show, we talked about what we could do to repay Jelly Roll for his kindness when it came to the kids. And so one of the things that Jelly Roll did was he let the kids raid the merch booth and go and get whatever t-shirt they wanted. The kids didn't want to take advantage of the hospitality, so we each just picked a t-shirt and we called it quits on that. In order for me to get Mistress Carrie merch for Jelly Roll, I actually had to call T-shirt Brian because Jelly Roll is a size 6X T-shirt. And so they don't just stock those in a lot of places. So T-shirt Brian was able to order a custom T-shirt for me, a black 6X shirt, which you see him holding up in this. And then we had to get kind of creative with the logos, because some of the logos just didn't fit. They were too small, and T-shirt Brian was like, I don't want it to look weird. So the front of the hoodies that just has my name with the purple flames is what's on the front of the T-shirt. And then the logo that is on the back of Jelly Roll's shirt is actually the front of the Cocktails in the War Room shirts. And Jelly Roll had actually said that he had seen people in the Cocktails in the War Room shirts, and he was hoping that I was going to give him one because he thought it was really cool. So that is me giving Jelly Roll his custom T-shirt. When I talked to his guys, they were like, oh, you have a shirt for Jelly. People give him shirts all the time, but he can never wear them because they're never big enough. And so when his guys looked at the tag and they realized that I had done my homework and gotten him the right size shirt, they were like, oh my God, Jelly's going to love that, because he can never wear any of the cool shirts that people give him. And so he was super happy that we made a shirt for him. So he now has his own version of the Cocktails in the War Room shirt. The other thing that we wanted to do for Jelly Roll was a little bit more sentimental. My husband, if you're new in the War Room, is an active duty Marine. And so he went to the PX and special ordered what you see in this picture right here. And it is a solid wood jewelry box with the eagle, globe, and anchor in like a brass emblem inset in the top. And when you open it, it's a 2-level, you can take a drawer out and there's another level underneath, of red velvet jewelry box. It's a really beautiful jewelry box. And it was kind of our joke, since when we met him, he was pulling all of his jewelry out of a Ziploc bag. On the front, which you can't see in this picture, we had a plate engraved that basically was a thank you to Jelly Roll for his hospitality, with me and my husband and the kids' names on it, and referencing the Ziploc bag, saying we thought this would be a better way for you to store your jewelry. And Jelly Roll absolutely loved it. It was a sentimental thing for him. He also laughed because since we had met him, he bought a jewelry box that was kind of like a plastic snap case, and the handle had just snapped off. One of many things that had gone wrong the day of this show, which was the Xfinity Center show, which I'll tell you guys about. And so he was like, Bunny is going to absolutely die laughing. This is so funny. So he absolutely loved the jewelry box. I also gave him a tank top for Bunny. I don't know if she's ever going to wear it, but I gave her one of the ladies' black tank tops as well with the Devil Horns logo. So that's him getting the t-shirt. This is him getting the jewelry box. This was like the posed picture so that I could send it to like all of the radio trades and stuff. During the show, which feeds into the Shinedown stories later, my husband and I were on the side of the stage watching both Jelly Roll and Shinedown. And we knew that Simple Man was coming up because Jelly Roll came out of his dressing room and started watching Shinedown. So that right there is the look on Jelly Roll's face watching the song before Simple Man and just watching Shinedown on stage. The relationship that all of these bands have, the relationship of their crew, is as genuine off stage as it is on. And he was just genuinely happy to see the guys from Shinedown doing so well. I didn't know that my husband was taking this picture because Jelly Roll and I were just watching Shinedown. When I caught my husband out of the corner of my eye taking our photo, we posed for this picture, which I love. It's really dark, obviously, because we were only getting the light off the stage at the time. But Jelly Roll went up and sang Simple Man, and he just blew the doors off the place. Now, during Jelly Roll's set, he actually did this whole thing talking about how he came up simultaneously in the country world, the hip hop world, and the rock world. And so he did this medley of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Jay-Z, and Linkin Park. And Zach Myers from Shinedown actually came out and did the rap part of Jay-Z during Jelly Roll, which, by the way, the place was packed for Jelly Roll. It's not like he got treated like an opening act. He did an amazing job. He was so good. Getting Zach Myers to go up on stage with Jelly Roll and then for Jelly Roll to get invited to go up on stage with Shinedown later was just awesome to see. Now, I didn't know this about my interview on the podcast with Jelly Roll, but during Jelly Roll's set, he gave me a little bit of a shout out from the stage. And what he said on stage, which I couldn't really hear because we were behind the speakers. So we were kind of only hearing like residual noise, but the sight lines were really cool. And we wanted to see like all the fire and stuff up close, which, by the way, hot as fuck. But basically what Jelly Roll said on stage was that I was the first person in the rock world to do an interview with him, and that I helped the rock world embrace him and Dead Man Walking, which then turned into a #1 rock song. And then he went into the song. And I knew that he had said my name, but I didn't really hear what he had said until people told me about it after the fact. And I had no idea that his appearance on episode 90 of the Mistress Carrie podcast was so early on in his rock career that for him to give me that kind of love on stage, I just thought was really sweet and wonderful. There's a bunch of other pictures up on Facebook and stuff of the actual performance. The fire that he talked about that Shinedown let him use during the bonus episode of the podcast before the show was hot. I just want to show you guys this, by the way, before I tell you the Shinedown stories, that once again, this is what's happening during the show now. It used to happen that she would come in, hang out for a while, get cookies, and then she would take off for a while and go visit Grammy and whatever, and then she would come back later for mail call. But now she has taken to sitting in the war room with me and snuggling up on the couch with me and napping during the rest of the show. And it's just, she has been, once again, incredibly snuggly, especially because the weather the last couple of days has been kind of cold and rainy, that, you know, she wants to snuggle in the blankets and be as close to me as possible. And so I just can't handle the cuteness, seriously. All right, so we got to talk about Shinedown now. So Shinedown was unbelievable. They were so good. They, I'm going to move this picture down so I can see you guys. So I was able to escort a group of veterans, wounded veterans, female veterans backstage before the show, which both Jelly Roll and the guys in Shinedown absolutely loved. I also brought merch for the guys in Shinedown and their crew because, you know, the radio station had given those guys shirts and stuff, but I hadn't had the opportunity to kind of swag them up with Mistress Carrie gear. So the guys from Shinedown were like, yeah, finally we get some Mistress Carrie gear. And then Sanjay, their official photographer who does a lot of their social media posts, their Instagram reels, all of that kind of stuff, took this picture of me with the guys, which I absolutely love. Then Brent and I always take a selfie, which is this picture right here. We've been doing it, you know, for 18 years now. We always take a selfie together. And the Shinedown guys were telling us about the crazy day. So if you were at the Shinedown Jelly Roll show at the Xfinity Center, it was pouring rain and the doors opened late. So I wanted to tell you guys why, because it was a calamity of just craziness backstage. So first of all, there was a thunder and lightning storm that rolled through Mansfield. Mansfield and the Xfinity Center have a rule, a law, whatever you want to call it, where if there is a lightning strike within 8 miles of the Xfinity Center, they have to stop performances. And if the doors aren't open yet, they cannot open the doors. So first of all, that's why the doors opened late, is because there was lightning in the area. 2 other things happened which made the day very hectic. So first of all, Jelly Roll had been in New York the night before, because when he's not playing with Shinedown on the off nights, which we discussed in the bonus episode of the podcast, he schedules stuff for himself. And he had a big meeting at Amazon in New York. He had a, big meeting with the record company people and stuff. And he's got 3 buses with his crew and the band and all of this stuff. And 2 of the buses broke down on the way to the Xfinity Center. One of them, the engine broke down. And the other one, which I believe was Jelly Roll's actual bus. And Jelly Roll has his own bus that has a giant king-size bed in the back. And then also has just a couple of bunks so that if his daughter, who he has custody of, wants to go out on the road with him, or if Bunny's with him, that the family has a family bus. Someone smashed the windshield of Jelly Roll's bus in New York. And the driver had closed the shades of the windshield to block out heat, to keep it, from getting too sunny in there. And in New York City, there's not a lot of places to park really tall vehicles like that. So there's a lot where a lot of the trucks and tour buses get parked that's kind of outside of the city. When the tour bus driver got back to the bus and opened the shades, the entire windshield of Jelly Roll's bus was all cobwebbed and shattered, and he couldn't drive it. So All 30 members of Jelly Roll's crew got on one tour bus. Now, in a standard crew tour bus, there's 12 bunks, 2 rows, 3 high in the main hallway of a tour bus. Usually there's where the driver sits in a passenger seat. Then there's the front lounge where there's a TV and some couches and a dining room table. Then there's the kitchen and the bathroom area. Then there's the hallway where the bunks are. And then there's the back lounge, which is usually where shenanigans happens. In Jelly Roll's bus's case, that's where his bedroom is. So they had to pile 30 people on a bus that sleeps 12 to drive them from New York to get them to the Xfinity Center show. Jelly Roll likes to arrive at the venue early in the morning. He likes to sleep at the venue on the bus. He likes to hang out in the dressing room. He does not want to stress about making it to the venue on time. He likes to be able to welcome his friends. Dave Grohl is kind of like this too, that he likes to hang out in the dressing room for hours and be able to invite friends backstage, hang out so that he's super relaxed and chill before he goes on stage. Jelly Roll arrived at the venue at 6 o'clock, which is when the doors opened at the Xfinity Center. And I was supposed to have this meet and greet with this group of veterans with Jelly Roll at 6:30, and they were scrambling. Now, the meet and greet with all of the veterans for Shinedown was supposed to be at 6 o'clock. Shinedown had their monitor console die. Now, if you don't know what a monitor console is, it's the soundboard you see off to the side of the stage. Most bands now wear in-ear headphones. You see the battery pack on the back of their belt. And each individual member of the band gets their own mix of what's important to them. So like Brent Smith from Shinedown, he wants to hear the backup vocals. He wants to hear the singing. He wants to hear Eric and Zach singing the harmonies. He also probably wants to have some guitar in there because the drums and the bass he can hear just because they're on the stage. But Barry might want to hear the bass, the drummer. Zach may want to hear the bass or the drum, whatever it is, everybody's got their own mix. So for a band to perform without monitors is near impossible because when you're behind the PA system at a show, you're not hearing what the crowd hears. Matter of fact, you're only getting some of the low end bleed. You're not getting any of the high end stuff. And then you're hearing the noise from the drum set because he's beating the drums right there. So Shinedown was scrambling to try and get another monitor console. I think they found one in like Albany. They had to get it put on a truck, sent to the Xfinity Center, hooked up, and they did sound check literally right before they opened the doors. And they had to beg because of the lightning warning to try and do the sound check right when they were making the decision to open the house because of the lightning. So the whole show was crazy, just from the weather, Jelly Roll's buses, Shinedown's monitor board. It was insane. And so Shinedown comes running in to do this meet and greet. That's why they're all in like shorts and sneakers and stuff, because they had been doing sound check right before. So like I said, Jelly Roll went on stage. He was absolutely amazing. Zach Myers went up and sang and rapped with him, which was great. The stage was unbelievable. You see in this picture right here, see those red taped off squares? That's where the fire is. And there's certain songs where fire comes shooting out of the stage. And so obviously nobody but the band is allowed on the stage at those points. So what I didn't know is that there's a part of the show, which we had seen them do in Madison, but the show is a lot smaller. It was indoors. It was kind of like a club show that they played to kind of give them a stopping point on the way to a big outdoor festival in Wisconsin. I got a hair in my mouth. Ugh. Anyway, so they do this thing during the show where they want to get the crowd going crazy so that Sanjay, their videographer and photographer, can go out on the stage and get those amazing crowd shots. And so I was standing, this is the view from the stage. This is what Barry Kurtz, the drummer, sees, this picture right here. So I don't know if you know this, pardon me if I'm being repetitive, but stage right and left is based on the perspective of the performer. So stage left is this way. Stage right is that way. If you're in the crowd looking at the stage, house right and house left, it's opposite. So I was standing stage left, and they put this big graphic of Sanjay up on the screen, and Brent kept coming over to my side of the stage and asking about the crowd and whether they were noisy enough in between songs. And I was like, I don't think so. I think they need to be noisier. So he always does this thing where Sanjay comes out on stage and it helps to hype the crowd up, and then everybody's arms are in the air and they get these amazing crowd shots, and there's a graphic of Sanjay up on the giant LED screen. And then he was like, nope, still not working. And he ran behind Zach's guitar stuff, behind the monitor guy, moved my husband out of the way, and grabbed me and dragged me up on the stage in the middle of the show. And I thought he just wanted me to come up and raise my arms and be like, all right, everybody, get up, because Sanjay was taking pictures. And you can see it. There's a lot of YouTube video up, and people have posted video up on my Facebook page. I thought I was done. And I thought it was really sweet that he was like, Mistress Carrie's here, and it was really cool. So I went to go get off the stage, and he grabbed me by the hand and was like, oh no, we're up here now. And so then, first of all, in this picture, you can't tell, he's soaking wet from the sweat, soaking wet like he jumped in a swimming pool. So he grabs me and his arms around me and stuff, and he's singing, and I'm like, I really hope he doesn't want me to sing, because I was having a hard time because I wasn't wearing monitors, in-ears, of even trying to keep up with where he was in the song. And also, I was so geeked out looking at all of you guys in the crowd that I could not concentrate if he wanted me to sing, which thankfully he did not. So I just was jumping around like an idiot. And there's tons of pictures of my insane face because it is impossible to describe the wave of sound. It's got to be an addiction for a live performer, because the sound that you guys make at a show, that we all make when we're screaming at a band, comes at the band like a sonic boom. And it is so friggin' loud. Even over the instruments, even over everything, what they're hearing in their inner ears, all of it. It's so loud. Yeah, Donna says, I saw you try to escape. Yeah, because I thought, all right, he just wants me to come up, wave my little hands at everybody, get everybody psyched up. And he was like, no. And people were just screaming. And so Sanjay took this photo in front of the drum riser of this amazing moment. This picture is from Evil Rob Photography. Evil Rob used to intern for me like 20 years ago at WAF, and now he's a professional concert photographer. He just happened to be out in the photo pit and got this picture of me. All the crazy colored stuff is all this amazing like visuals that were up on this giant LED screen that was behind us. And I've got all of these amazing pictures of me making the dumbest faces on the planet. Like I said, you can see a lot of them on my Facebook page, especially the ones that people have been putting in the comments that they took from their vantage point. And while I was up there, like my head was just going zzz, and I'm like, where are all the backstage pass holders right now? Like, where is everyone from the war room sitting? Like, where is everyone? So the last thing I wanted to tell you guys is that I know a bunch of you guys were there. And as I was running around, I saw a ton of War Room t-shirts. I saw a lot of the OG War Room shirts. I saw a lot of Mistress Carrie hoodies and all of that stuff. And I had to run by you. And part of the reason was because of the lightning, because of the tour bus fiasco, and because of the monitor console stuff, the early part of the show was very stressful. And I was rushing around trying to get all of the things done that I needed to get done. And it was insane. So if I ran by you and didn't stop to say hi, especially the backstage pass holders, I saw you. I know you were there. I'm sorry I couldn't spend too much time with you, but it was insane, the early part of the show. Keith says I moved down to section 4. Was in the same spot you stood when they were with Godsmack. Oh, so I thought that maybe they'd do Simple Man the same way, where they'd put a stage kind of out in the crowd. But I think because they wanted to get Jelly Roll up there, they opted to do Simple Man from the main part of the stage. And there was one point in Simple Man where I was again stage left over by the monitor guy, and Brent came over to the side of the stage and was singing to me and like blew me a kiss and whatever while I'm still soaking wet, drenched in his sweat. And there has been a joke for the last 6 years since I met my husband about his jealousy of Brent Smith from Shinedown because he knows how close we are. And I have not heard the end of it from my husband. Like, you're never going to wash that Cocktails in the War Room shirt again that you were wearing. He was blowing kisses to you, and he brought you up on stage, and he was singing to you. So needless to say, it was pretty freaking hilarious. So, but the show was awesome. And so then later on that night, Jelly Roll was like, you got to hang out. We're going to hang out and party. And then Jelly Roll got word that he didn't think his bus was going to be repaired because they were putting a new windshield in until like 2:00 in the morning. That's what he had been told. And by like 9:30, right after Simple Man, so maybe around 10 o'clock, Jelly Roll got word that his bus was ready. And if you saw Jelly Roll up on the stage, he had blue jeans on. And normally he is up on stage in black jeans. All of Jelly Roll's clothes, all of his personal items, his toiletries, literally everything were on his bus. And he had nothing. So he left to go get his bus so that he could go and like take a shower and take a nap because he had been up all night. So we didn't get a chance to like party with Jelly Roll after the show, but we totally understood. So Rachel says, I was blessed that the staff found ADA seating for me and the hubby. They put us in section 8. Yeah, the staff at the Xfinity Center and most concert venues now are really good about ADA seating and making sure that people that have those specific needs, get the seats that they need. Bish says, I was in section 3, saw you get dragged on stage. Yeah, I was a blubbering mess for Simple Man. My sister and I danced with our baby brother to it at his wedding when he, because I used to sing it to him when he was a baby. Yeah, Brent Smith did this video recently on Setlist FM. And Setlist FM, if you guys don't know what it is, it's a website that keeps track of every band's tour and the set list every night. And then there's statistics of how many times they've played a song. And so they did an interview with Brent Smith, and they said that actually live, Shinedown has played Simple Man more than Lynyrd Skynyrd, which Brent was like, I don't know if that's true, but they've played it like, I think he said 981 times. And he also told a story about after they played it on AAF, and after it became part of the set, when the lineup change happened in Shinedown and Zach Myers joined the band, that they took the song out of the set for about a year. And they came to Boston. I remember the show. They came to Boston, they played the House of Blues, and they didn't play Simple Man. And literally everyone just kept coming up to me going, why didn't they play Simple Man? Why didn't they play Simple Man? I was like, I have no idea. People were calling for like the next week at the station. Why didn't they play Simple Man? So what I didn't know was that after the show, Sully from Godsmack went backstage to say hi to the guys from Shinedown. And Sully asked Brent, why didn't you guys play Simple Man? And Brent said, lineup changes with the band. We want to focus on playing our own music. And in this video that's up on YouTube by Setlist FM, so you can go back and watch it, Sully said, no, you don't get it. The song doesn't belong to you. The song belongs to the fans. And that's why they want to hear it. And it was that advice from Sully that got Shinedown to put Simple Man back into the set the next night on that tour, and it's never been out of the set since. So the last night that Shinedown ever didn't play Simple Man was in Boston because the riot act got read to him so bad by Sully and by me a little bit, but definitely by Sully, because That's what he referenced in the video, which I thought was really hilarious. So hold on. Okay. So that's those are the Shinedown stories. Like I said, these are some of the live pictures, just a little bit bigger so that you guys can see them. This is me just trying to figure out what the hell he wanted me to do because I was just up there like, dude, what do you want from me? I'm not a rock star. You're the rock star. But it was amazing. All right. So last week we did not get together in the war room. So I didn't get a chance to announce to you that Nick Mason from Pink Floyd was my guest on episode 119 of the podcast. So if you haven't listened to it yet, Nick motherfucking Mason from Pink Floyd is on episode 119 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. And Nick and I talked about a lot of stuff. He talked about Queen Elizabeth. He actually asked me if I saw and watched The Crown, and actually talked about how, especially in the 50s era of the TV show The Crown, that they did a really good job of showing what life was like in England at the time, which I thought was kind of crazy because he knows the royal family. Queen Elizabeth during the war was a mechanic, and he is a Ferrari enthusiast, and there's tons of pictures of him with the royal family. So obviously, for him to say that The Crown, he's like, they took some liberties, but I was like, some tea. Nick Mason also just talked about, I thought it was really interesting how candid he was when I asked him about whether or not Pink Floyd would ever get back together. That answer is interesting. So if you haven't gone back and listened to episode 119 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, go back and listen to it. Ben wants to know, oh, hi, Ben. We want fat bottom girls. Ben. Somebody else asking me if I went and saw Five Finger Death Punch on Sunday night. I did not. I was catching up on a lot of work and recording. I was on the air on Sunday. There was a lot going on, so I did not get a chance to go. However, if you were at the show, hopefully, oh shit. Well, first of all, let me tell you who's on the episode this week. Episode 120 of the Mistress Carrie podcast features Doug Pinnick from King's X, which if you are a true student of music, if you're a musician, especially if you're a bass player, this is a must-listen episode. Doug Pinnick is a legend. If you are into prog rock at all, the guy's in his 70s. He is just a prodigy when it comes to the bass. He's an amazing rock vocalist, and he could not have been sweeter and just so wonderful. And I absolutely love this episode of the podcast. So if you ever played the bass, if you got a friend that's a bass player, if you love King's X, the corresponding playlist for this week's episode is awesome. It's got all kinds of stuff in there. But I was super excited that Doug Pinnick from King's X wanted to come on the show. So yes, premature button pushing. Well, what I screwed up was that I wanted to call you guys' attention to the bonus episode that came out on Sunday, which is part of the reason why I didn't go to Five Finger Death Punch. The bonus episode is called The Retaliators 2. So over the weekend, The Retaliators, the horror film, came out. That's the movie that stars the guys from Five Finger Death Punch. It stars Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach. It stars Tommy Lee. It stars Eva from Eva Under Fire. It also stars some of the guys from The Who. Now, they played at the Xfinity Center on Sunday night. This is the Hunu rock band. It's a new genre of rock that they are spearheading. And it's basically hard rock and heavy metal combined with traditional Mongolian instruments and traditional Mongolian throat singing. So the guys from The Who were on the bonus episode called The Replacement or The Retaliators Part 2. And this is the first episode that I've had to do with the podcast through a translator. Way back in the day, I had to interview and introduce Rammstein in German. And so for the interview, I I did it through an interpreter, and I actually spent a bunch of time in the afternoon with the interpreter learning how to introduce Rammstein in German. And so other than that, I don't have a lot of experience with doing interviews through a translator, because even like members of Lacuna Coil that are from Milan spoke English to be able to do an interview. These guys speak very limited English. They're learning more and more the more they tour in the United States, but they were awesome. And so this episode is The Retaliators Part 2. And not only does it feature my interview through the interpreter with the members of The Who, it also features Michael Lombardi, who is a producer of the film and also stars in it. And you'll recognize him from Dennis Leary's show, Rescue Me. And then Alan Kovac, who has worked with everyone from Blondie and the Cars. He manages Motley Crue. He's the one that got the Dirt film to get made. And he is also one of the producers and helped get The Retaliators made. And so all of them came on The Retaliators Part 2, the bonus episode of the podcast, which came out on Sunday night. And I wanted the episode to be out before the crowd got out of the Xfinity Center, so that as people were sitting in traffic and on their way home, they could listen to the interview with the guys from The Who. So Christine said The Who were awesome live. Rob said they were amazing. That's Evil Rob, by the way, from Evil Rob Photography, that the picture that I showed you guys earlier. Let's see. Yeah, they're super nice guys, really, really sweet guys. It's definitely a different type of music, but I feel that this is where rock needs to go. Rock needs to open its doors to rock from all around the world. And they even told me in the interview that like Dave Mustaine went backstage, because obviously Megadeth is on the tour, and tried to play this, I think they call it like a horse pedal. It's like this 2-string instrument that's made out of like horsetail hair and stuff. And obviously like Dave Mustaine did not have a lot of luck trying to play that instrument. But, and the other fascinating thing is the members of The Who have long lineage of musicianship, and it's also, the musicianship is tied to military service, which I thought was really interesting, and kind of a look into the Mongolian culture. They were talking about like their great-great-great-great-grandfathers, and that they played these traditional instruments, and that they also served in the military in Mongolia. So these guys are just super fascinating. If you never heard the music, you can check out the corresponding playlist for this bonus episode. Definitely want to check it out. But the podcast episode that goes live at midnight tonight, episode 120, features Doug Pinnick from King's X, and I'm super excited about this episode. Tom reminding me that Big Z, Zdeno Chara, signed a one-day contract with the Bruins today so that he could officially announce his retirement from the NHL. And so if we could do a little cheers to Big Z, who holds a ton of records, including being the tallest player ever in the NHL. And he also holds the record for hoisting the Stanley Cup, the highest over NHL ice, after the Bruins won the Cup. So cheers to Big Z. Okay. Eric wants to know what concert I'm going to next. I don't know the answer to that question. There's a lot of them coming up. A lot of shows I want to get to. I Prevail is coming. Allison Chains and Breaking Benjamin and Bush are coming. There's just so many shows, and it's just everything is dependent on a lot of things. Travel. I'm going to see Godsmack in Vegas in a couple of weeks, so I guess that's the next concert I'm going to go to. Let's see. All right, so I want to remind you guys that if you subscribe to the podcast, you also get the sit reps that come every weekday. They upload at like 3 a.m, so it doesn't matter how early you get up in the morning. You can get all your rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates. It's 5 minutes long, and if you subscribe, no matter where you listen to podcasts, it's a way for you to get caught up with everything that's going on in music, rock, entertainment. And like I said, it's only 5 minutes long, so it is not a big time suck like some of the interviews on the podcast can be when we talk for hours on end. Here's just a sampling of the places that you can listen to the Mistress Carrie podcast. Basically, Go to where you listen to podcasts, search Mistress Carrie. As long as you see this artwork, then you know you're in the right place. And just subscribe so that you don't miss an episode, because a lot of bonus episodes have been coming out lately. A couple weeks ago, it was Jelly Roll. This past week was The Retaliators Part 2. We're holding strong at 130 countries. I know I keep saying it's not going to be long before that goes up, but I'm watching the metrics in a lot of different foreign countries, and the audience is growing. Canada is still number 2. The UK is still number 3. Russia is still holding on at number 4 of listenership. And Singapore, for some reason, is still holding strong at number 5. Tons of headlines to go over. Some tour announcements got made today. Want to remind you guys, the Trinity of Terror tour is coming to the Songus on November 17th. That is, sorry, I think I got some allergies or something going on. The Trinity of Terror is Ice Nine Kills, Motionless in White, and Black Veil Brides. And you'll remember Motionless in White on the podcast. They're now in the top 5 on the rock chart right now for the first time in their career, which is unbelievable. So to see some of these newer rock bands that we've been able to introduce you guys to more early on than normal, doing so well is pretty awesome. So that is happening at the Songus on November 17th. The Red Hot Chili Peppers' new album, Return of the Dream Canteen, is coming out on October 14th. And they just announced that they're doing a special pressing of the album with gold vinyl and a bonus song on the vinyl. And it's only going to be available for Record Store Day, which, by the way, Record Store Day 2022 is happening on Black Friday. I put the link, all the details up on the events calendar. But a lot of amazing vinyl is coming out. A lot of great limited edition releases are coming out, including a new version of this album that's not even out yet on Record Store Day. Big announcement from the Dropkick Murphys today. They announced their St. Patrick's Day shows. They're playing on St. Patrick's Day and the 18th of March at the new MGM Music Hall at Fenway. And then they're closing out their 3-night stand on Lansdowne Street on March 19th at the House of Blues across Lansdowne Street from the MGM. All of those shows go on sale this Friday, and all of the shows have been added to the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Let's see. So much going on. Allison Chains, Breaking Benjamin, and Bush at the Xfinity Center. Those tickets are on sale now. And also Joe Satriani at the Orpheum. This is October 8th. Satriani is November 5th. AWOL Nation, October 23rd at the House of Blues. Those tickets are on sale. The new Slipknot's coming out next Friday, September 30th. Judas Priest and Queensryche are going to be at the MGM Music Hall coming up October 16th. Dio, Dreamers Never Die, the officially authorized Dio documentary, is going to be in theaters for 2 days only, September 28th and October 2nd. Go to the website for the documentary, or I'm going to put this up in the event calendar with the link that will take you to all of the theaters wherever you are joining us here in the War Room to be able to get the tickets ahead of time. But they're only going to have it in theaters for a couple of days. And don't forget, The Munsters is coming out a week from now on Netflix. Super excited. This, of course, is the Rob Zombie directed Munsters feature film, which is going to be perfect to get us all in the mood for Halloween. Jeff Beck is going to be at the MGM Music Hall on October 6th. Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage at the MGM Music Hall. That's tomorrow. Still tickets available, I think. Tickets are now on sale for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They have got dates, I believe, at Mohegan, the SNHU Arena, and also the DCU Center. Oh, yeah, they're right here. Duh. Mohegan on the 23rd, SNHU Arena on the 25th, DCU on the 26th, and there's a matinee and a night performance on each one of these days. And they're all listed on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. So lots going on. New releases coming out this Friday. Allison Chains is releasing a 30th anniversary of their album, Dirt. Not The Dirt, that's Motley Crue. Dirt is coming out with a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff, demos, all kinds of stuff, bonus content. Billy Idol's new EP, The Cage, is coming out on Friday. Motorhead re-releasing Iron Fist for its 40th anniversary. Stone Temple Pilots also getting into the anniversary game, re-releasing Core to commemorate its 30th anniversary. And also pop punk star Willow, who worked with Travis Barker on this record, Coping Mechanism, that comes out on Friday as well. Hold on, I want to show you Wednesday. Seriously. Eric says, I don't know what's going on with my voice. Eric says Iron Maiden is going to be killer at the DCU. I will be at that show for sure. So obviously Wednesday is just not enthused. She's just laying there. All right, I want to tell you guys about a couple of places you'll be able to come and hang out with me. Coming up, oh, well, there's the answer about what's the next show you're going to. I'm going to see Nick Mason on Thursday night at the Schubert. So one of the really cool things that Nick Mason did with the Saucerful of Secrets tour is that he partnered with Pantheon Podcasts. And so at each stop on the tour, he's letting Pantheon podcasts that are based out of those cities come to the show and actually promote their podcast at the show. So I'm actually going to have a table set up to promote the podcast at the Schubert on Thursday. So if you're going to the show, stop by and say hi. Also, the Pike is presenting the Battle of the Bands at Polar Park. It is coming up on October 6th. I'm going to be there. Mike Shue's going to be there. Chuck Perks is going to be there. Between the Waves, On the Rocks, the Midnight Riders, Disco Limousine, and the Cogs. I believe. I don't want to say this wrong, so hold on. I have very big lights in my eyes. Yeah, it's the Cogs. They are all going to be at Polar Park. Tickets are only $9 for this. They're trying to do more with local music, which Mike Shue and I love. And it's only $9. They're having this Battle of the Bands. It is going to be like 6 hours of live music or something. And it's happening at Polar Park. And it's going to be family friendly, which is really cool. So this has also been added to the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com as well. All right. Wednesday's favorite part of the show. And a lot of mail has come in over the last couple of weeks. So I want to go over some of it with you. First of all, birthdays. Birthdays are like margaritas. The more you have, the better everyone else starts to look. Hope yours is happy. Happy birthday and wishing you many more. So, by the way, this is, I hope the Hubs is watching because this is a birthday card for the Hubs. So it says, Mr. C, happy birthday and wishing you many more. Quick note to say happy birthday, and we hope that you know how happy you make Carrie. We can see it when she talks about you. She just shines. Also wanted to thank you for your dedicated service to our country. I hope we get to meet someday so we can buy you a drink and shake your hand. Enjoy your day and have a blast making memories. You share your birthday with my eldest daughter, Jennifer, and it's my wedding anniversary. So happy birthday to Jennifer. Happy wedding anniversary to Melissa and Tim. And thank you guys for your thoughtful birthday card to Mr. C. Thought that was very sweet. Got this card that says, congratulations. Behind every success is effort. Behind every effort is passion. Behind every passion is someone with the courage to try. It says, so happy that all the things you've worked so hard for and all the good things you deserve are coming true for you. So first of all, this is from Melissa and Tim, and it says, you have a lot to be proud of. Congratulations on your 200th episode of Cocktails in the War Room. Here's to another 200. P.S. Use the card on the front as a bookmark for the bartender books because it's got this like plastic card that you can like pull off the front of the card. By the way, don't forget there's an index on the back of the book that I made for you for easy reference of the cocktails, which I know that there is, but sometimes I'm in such a rush that I forget to check the reference of the book and I just go into the drink book and it's craziness. All right. I got this amazing purple bag. In dog years, you'd be 350, but in giant redwood years, you'd only be about 3.5. See, turning 50 is all about how you look at it. And this is from Carol. which is kind of hilarious. Dear Mistress Carrie, hope you have a wonderful 50th birthday. Thank you for all that you do. So the birthday is not until the 1st, but I appreciate the fact that you guys know I'm going to be out of town for the birthday. And so you sent me the cards and stuff. So Carol sent me these little cartons. And I have a feeling that I know what these are supposed to be for. But Carol sent me 2 of these things that have little dollar bills rolled up with purple ribbons. My assumption was that you wanted me to take these to Vegas. And I'm going to do just that. So if I win money in Vegas, it's going to be with Carol's money that she gave me for my birthday, and that she rolled them all up and put purple ribbons on them. So that is going to be my allotted gambling money in Vegas. And I'm going to do a little roulette playing, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't gamble often, but I'm going to go and have a little bit of fun in Vegas with the hubs, because we're going to have a couple days where it's just he and I. All right. I got this package from Melissa from this website called Half Nuts. And it's got a little bit of everything in here. So it's got some amazing Angry Birds Pez dispensers. They wrap this all up really good, by the way. I had to look close to see what these were. They are skull gummies. Wednesday, these aren't for you. Notice how she's perked up right now? Can you see her? Wednesday. Do you think these are for you? Yeah. Back up a little bit. Yeah, all of a sudden, this bag is sealed shut. I want to just try these skull gummies. Yeah, see, here you go. See the skull gummies? How cool are those? Oh, they're good. Gummy. It's going to take me a minute. Okay. Adding to the Pez dispenser collection, a little baby Yoda. A Mandalorian child. I'm never going to stop calling him Baby Yoda. Don't at me. Stranger Things. Love it. Stranger Things. Amazing. And then there was one more thing that was all wrapped up in here. It's wrapped in this crazy, like, sub-wrapper, like newsprint. I have never seen this before. Purple candy corn. It's supposed to be blackberry cobbler. Now, I am not a lover of candy corn. I've had this discussion on the air many times about the fact that I am not a lover of candy corn. However, I've never had blackberry candy corn. Blackberry cobbler candy corn, to be very specific. So I'm going to try it. Hold on. I want to get a good one. I mean, it's adorable. Better than regular candy corn. That's for sure. No, this is not for you. This is not for you. This is Mummy's, not for you. So I love all of this stuff. Thank you so much. She sent me an email, by the way, and she was like, if you get a random package from Half Nuts, it was me. And I was like, Half Nuts could have been almost anything. And I was like, what could that be? I thought I was going to get like a giant set of like truck nuts or something. I really did. So, Melissa, I'm pleasantly surprised you didn't send me truck nuts for my birthday. All right. And there's one more box that I saved for last because I know that the stuff that's in here is not for me. What's this Wednesday? Is this for you? Here. So when everybody was staying here at the house, first of all, they were like, that's the most dog toys I've ever seen a dog have ever. And I was like, yep. And she would dig through them to find specific toys. And people were like, she's not really doing that. And I was like, she really is. These are hilarious. Dog bottles for Wednesday's cocktails in the war room. What's this one? Does this have a squeaker? Does that have a squeaker in it? Huh? What about this one? Rah. She literally will play with all of them. Okay, then there is this, which is amazing. It's like iridescent. So cool. That is not for Wednesday. That's for me. Hold on, the card was buried. Here, what's your pumpkin? So in the card, it says, hey, MC, just a little something for everyone. Toys for the Nugget, mugs for you, and Mr. C. Love, Tracy. You guys are going to start spoiling my husband now. You've already spoiled my dog. Now you're starting to spoil my husband. Be careful. All right. So there's another mug, which I love. And then a bag of Twizzlers. Yeah. This is not for you, Wednesday. That's Mummy's too. All right. Then there is Skull and Crossbones kitchen stuff. I literally was joking about this the other day, that this time of year, I just move stuff around in my house to make it look like I decorated for Halloween. But it's basically just all my own stuff that just gets reallocated. That was everything that was in there. But this is freaking hilarious, which I will use at Christmas. And the family will be like, what is wrong with you? So thank you guys for all of the really sweet birthday stuff. Wednesday thanks you for... Wait, are you throwing your toys on the floor already? All three of them? Is that what you're doing? Hold on. You got one under the table. Here. There you go. Candy corn is like chalky, waxy crap. Annette, these aren't bad. I don't like that super sweet, regular candy corn stuff, but these blackberry ones are not that, which is kind of crazy. It's the fucking pumpkin. Yeah, exactly. It's why I didn't bring toys in here tonight. Usually I bring toys in here, but don't pug hole. But I knew that she was going to have toys to play with when we did. Yeah, exactly. Wednesday is popping the bottles. Hey, Carrie, how is your shoulder? All right, so let me catch you guys up on a couple things because I know we're running late. I have an appointment with the orthopedist next week. I was at the physical therapist today. They have upped the weights on my shoulder to get me to try and build up some more strength in my shoulder because it's been immobile for so long, is really weak. And so, hey, what are you doing? Nope. Come over here. That way. This way. So my shoulder, the progress is slow. The range of motion is improving. When I try to push the range of motion is when it hurts. But the physical therapists have been amazing, and I'm going back to the doctor next week to see what he thinks. If he wants me to just keep going to physical therapy, if he wants me to get another injection, I don't know. We'll find out. Mom is okay. She's climbing on the back of the couch now. Mom is okay. Hey, what are you doing? Get down. She's obviously not getting any better. So that is, just something that we're kind of dealing with and navigating all the legal paperwork now and just trying to make long-term plans for her. But when it comes to things like Medicare, Medicaid, and all the paperwork that goes with all of those things, it's a lot of legalese, forms. It's just a lot. So we're kind of navigating that. She has really good days and she has really bad days. We're also kind of playing with her medications because sometimes she lashes out and other times the medications make her too sleepy. And so we're trying to find the right balance where mom is happy and enjoying her life and also not lashing out as much because we have gotten to the point where she's begun doing that more often. And it's so unlike her, which is so weird, but that's what we're kind of dealing with that. Somebody asked, what's up with, is your garden done? No, it's not. I'm still getting raspberries out of my garden. I am still getting tomatoes out of my garden. And I have not yet harvested my celery out of my garden. However, my green beans were non-existent. I had some bunnies get in there and eat the green beans. The cucumbers were really bad this year. The peas were good and then not. You guys saw that, right? Okay. So the garden has been weird. I'm getting ready to go out there and harvest all of the herbs so that I can dehydrate and dry all of that stuff. And I am going to go from no celery to all the celery, like tomorrow, because there's a ton of it out there. The celery, I've never had it before in the garden, and it grew like crazy. Hey, those Twizzlers are not for you. These are for you. This is yours, not the Twizzlers. Little shit. Yeah, the pumpkin squeaks too. Oh, yes, it does, Tracy. Mark wants to know, does mom still feel like she's working as a nurse there? Yeah, she does. And that's when she gets really upset, is that when things happen and she gets treated like a patient, when it's time for her to take her medication. She's like, well, I'm not a patient. Why are you trying to get me to take my medication? So we have to feed into her delusion, but then at the same time, there's certain things that she has to do, like, okay, it's time to put pajamas on. Well, I'm a nurse. I don't want to put my pajamas on. I'm working, like stuff like that. Let's see. Wednesday needs a spider costume, especially for when she's on the back of the couch, says Annette. Have you tried mint and lavender in the garden? It's supposed to keep rodents away. I have orange mint, spearmint, peppermint, regular mint. I have all the mints. The rodents avoid it, but unless you plant mint all around your perimeter, there is some lavender, jasmine, like all of the stinky stuff. There's sage in there, the stuff that the rodents don't like and the deer don't like, but they found a way to get through in other places. Now, I've done a lot of reading, and rodents and deer have been lashing out more than normal in people's gardens because of the drought, because they're thirsty. And so I'm trying to give the bunnies a pass, but they kind of fucked my garden up a little bit. So let's see. Do you know that you can dehydrate the herbs in your air fryer? Yes, but actually the oven that I have in my kitchen has a dehydrator setting. So I can do big batches of dehydrated herbs at the same time, which is part of the reason why I bought the oven that I did. Mint and lavender are super invasive, only planted if they're in pots, says Donna. So I put the mint in there, but I have to trim it back so that it lines the long stretches of my garden, but it tries to encroach and I go and pull it out. But do not plant mint in your yard unless it's in a place where you don't want anything else but mint to grow, because it's like a weed. It'll grow everywhere and it smells amazing, but it'll take over. So that's good advice, to put mint in pots for sure. Jen says they chewed up my sunflowers. Yeah, they're thirsty. So, all right, just want to remind you guys that the cold weather is coming. I am working on some new merch ideas for the holidays. But I want to remind you guys that it may not be tank top season anymore in the Northeast, but it's definitely hoodie and beanie season in the Northeast. So those are in the store, and you can expect more sales, especially if you have a Backstage Pass. Before we go, we have birthdays to celebrate. It's Elsa's birthday tonight, so happy birthday, Elsa. Also, Ben Shepard from Soundgarden, he's celebrating his birthday today. Matthew and Gunnar Nelson are celebrating their birthday today. And also, local guitar legend and a former guest on the Mistress Carrie podcast, Nuno Betancourt from Extreme, also celebrating his birthday today. Right, Wednesday? So happy birthday to everybody. Happy birthday to Elsa and whoever else is celebrating birthdays today. Brian, I'm working on the pullover hoodies. It was really funny, actually, because all of the guests that I had at the house last week when I took the week off from the show, we had this debate. And I was actually using them as a control group. And all the guys were like, you should have pullover hoodies. And all the girls were like, no, you need zip-up hoodies. So I am going to work on pullover hoodies for sure. I think I might change up the logos a little bit, though, because I don't want them to be exactly like the zip-up hoodies. But yeah, I definitely... Can I help you? Do you want me to give you some more love? Is that what you want? You want to say hi to everyone? Thank you. Why are you licking me? Are you trying to get me to give you candy corn and Twizzlers? Because I'm not going to do it. Let's see. Like I said, I want to remind you guys about the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass. Anytime I travel, I take you guys with me. There's always exclusive photos that I don't share on social media up there. We also do an exclusive live stream every month, which I'm going to have to figure out. It may not happen until... I wanted to do it the Sunday night when I get home from Vegas, and I don't think I'm going to be back in time. So we're going to have to figure out the live stream for my birthday this month. But we will definitely do that. You also get early access to event tickets, concert ticket giveaways. Right now, I want to remind you that if you have a Backstage Pass, you have access to Allison Chains, Breaking Benjamin, and Bush tickets. And you also have access to I Prevail tickets, and they are all up for grabs. You guys know if you have a Backstage Pass how to get them. Just send me the message. You guys know how to do it. Hi. What are you doing? I'm not even turning the pug cam on. She just wants to be in the regular cam. You want to be in the mummy cam and not the pug cam? And then just a reminder of where you guys can find me on social, and that you can find Wednesday on Instagram too. Wednesday the Goth Pug. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There's a lot more reels that are getting put up on Instagram and on Facebook. TikTok, there's a lot more TikToks that are getting posted up. Cameo, YouTube, Patreon. So there's more and more stuff getting put up all the time. And by the end of the year and into early next year, there's a lot more content coming as well. So everybody wishing Elsa a happy birthday. Annette says, thank you for the 5-finger death punch and Shinedown tickets. You're very welcome. I will babysit Wednesday anytime for absolutely free. I just want to love and snuggle that baby, says Amanda. I am very lucky that the list of family members that are willing to not only take care of Wednesday, but take care of my house for me while I'm gone is pretty awesome. So sometimes I have to let them have parties at the house, but they always clean it up before I get home, which is good. All right, Wednesday, do you want to say goodnight? Do you want to say goodnight? Say goodnight, everyone. Thank you for all of my treats. Thank you for my toys. Say thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. Don't forget episode 120 featuring Doug Pinnick from King's X goes live at midnight tonight. I will see you guys next week. Good night.